Have you ever found yourself caught in the whirlwind of trying to control the people around you? Maybe it's a friend who keeps making the same mistakes, a colleague who just doesn't get it, or a family member who seems to be stuck in their ways. You want to help, you want to guide them, but no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're pushing against a brick wall. This is where Mel Robbins' "let them" theory comes in, a concept that flips the script on how we approach our relationships and, more importantly, ourselves. At its core, the "let them" theory is about relinquishing the need to control others and, instead, focusing on our own actions and reactions. It's about realizing that our personal freedom and emotional growth hinge on this shift in perspective. Imagine waking up each day with the knowledge that you don't have to carry the weight of other people's choices on your shoulders. That's the freedom Robbins talks about, and it's incredibly liberating. Let me share a personal story that really highlights this transformative philosophy. A few years ago, I found myself in a friendship that was draining me. My friend was constantly making choices that I found frustrating. I would spend hours trying to advise her, trying to steer her in what I thought was the right direction, but the more I pushed, the more she resisted. It was a cycle of stress, judgment, and emotional exhaustion. Then, one day, I stumbled upon the "let them" theory. It was like a light bulb went off. I realized that my attempts to control her decisions were not only futile, but were also keeping me from my own peace and happiness. I started to focus on my own reactions instead. I learned to let go of the need to fix her, and in doing so, I found a sense of calm I hadn't felt in a long time. The beauty of this theory is that it encourages us to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. How often do we find ourselves in situations where our first instinct is to react? Whether it's an argument with a loved one or a frustrating day at work, our emotions can take the wheel, leading to choices we often regret later. The "let them" theory teaches us to take a step back, breathe, and choose our responses carefully. This shift not only helps us maintain our peace, but also preserves our energy and productivity. Imagine approaching challenges with a clear mind instead of a cloud of frustration. It's a game changer. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the roots of this theory. It draws on ancient philosophies that advocate for emotional detachment and acceptance of reality. This isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about understanding that we can't control everything that happens in our lives. When we accept reality as it is, we can navigate life's challenges with grace. It's about learning to dance with the chaos rather than fighting against it. Robbins also provides practical psychological tools to help us manage our internal emotions and external interactions. One of the most powerful tools she discusses is the practice of mindfulness. By becoming more aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can better understand what triggers our emotional responses. This awareness allows us to take a step back and choose how we want to react, rather than being swept away by our initial feelings. It's about creating a space between stimulus and response, giving us the power to decide how we want to engage with the world around us. But there's a balance we need to strike between "let them" and "let me." While it's important to let others make their own choices, we also have to take proactive steps in our own lives. This theory isn't about being passive, it's about being intentional. It empowers us to focus on self-improvement and intentional living. We need to ask ourselves, what do I want for my life? How can I grow? This balance is essential for fostering healthier relationships and for our own personal development. As we grow and change, our friendships evolve too. The "let them" theory supports us in understanding and adapting to these changes. It encourages us to cultivate lasting relationships while also fostering self-reliance. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can support our friends and loved ones while also maintaining our independence. This is crucial for building relationships that stand the test of time. So, how do we apply the "let them" theory in our daily lives? Start by observing your interactions. Are there areas where you find yourself trying to control others? Shift your focus to your own responses. Practice mindfulness. Take a moment to breathe before reacting. Embrace the idea that people will make their own choices, and that's okay. Remember, your peace of mind is worth more than the stress of trying to manage someone else's life. In conclusion, the Let Them theory is a powerful framework for personal and interpersonal growth. It invites us to let go of control, to focus on ourselves, and to cultivate healthier, more meaningful relationships. By embracing this philosophy, we not only free ourselves from unnecessary stress, but also empower ourselves to live more intentionally and authentically. So, let's take a deep breath, let them be who they are, and focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves. After all, that's where true growth happens.